And hello everybody, welcome to the Mini Miglia. It's almost time for the cars to go out on track, but before they do, we've actually nipped outside of the paddock because here is Mr. Lee Deegan's car, and he's just over here putting his shoes on. That's what he's doing. The life of a rock and roll race driver. But just have a quick look at this at Lee's Mini Miglia here. He had a good result earlier, didn't he? I believe he had podium. Lee, great to see you again. I haven't seen you for a while actually, but last time I saw you, racing a different series, but you're doing the Mini Miglias.
Yeah, I think last time you saw me would have been in the Civic Cup.
It was, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this year COVID has affected things. Yeah. We originally planned to be in the Ginetta with Maximum Motorsport, but obviously a few sponsors understandably had to take precautions and protect the businesses. So we've come out and had a fun in the Minis. I've been out in them before. They're always cracking racing, really competitive, and we're having some good battles out there. It's going
quite well actually, isn't it? Tell us about your weekend so far.
Yeah, I mean, qualified P3, ended up P3 yesterday, was leading for quite a bit of the race until one of the MySab gaskets on the carburettor decided to fail and suck in, and then got stuck behind the butterfly. So every time I come to a soil corner, I was sticking at 6,000 revs, so I was obviously missing the apex, having to try and slow it down on the brakes, dipping the clutch in places to avoid other cars when they got back past me and in front. So managed to wrestle the car back in P3 and started P2 today, so managed to get a good lap time, because the second race today it goes from your fastest lap from the previous race. So managed to get a good lap in at the end with a toe down the back straight. We've got really bad wind here this weekend,
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
And on the longest straight it's a headwind, so you don't really want to be in front really on the last lap if you've got someone behind you. So it's all very mind games really.
Very similar to the sevens, because actually that was my next question, you just answered it there, and we saw it with the legends as well. They all say you don't want to be in the lead as you come onto the last. It's so crazy to say that, isn't it?
It is, but when you have the aerodynamics of a brick, a Mini, it really doesn't help. Obviously in a lot of Formula cars it won't affect as much, but it really does affect us, and the trucks and the legend. You have to play the right game really, and
punch a hole in the air really.
That's
so
right,
person behind.
Just position your car in the right place.
But some of the other Mini Miglias are down there. You're all the way out here. Any reason for that?
No testing on Friday.
Right.
We've been concentrating on getting the engine right. We've had engine issues all year really, and we've been lacking on power. Everyone's upped their game over the last 2 years on engine power, and TBR Racing have sorted me out with a really good engine now.
Brilliant.
So we can get up there and fight with the big boys.
That's what I like to hear.
So yeah, we're at Brands Hatch. We was on engine number 3, and probably about 15 brake horsepower below. And 15 brake horsepower doesn't sound a lot, but in Mini Miglia terms, that's a massive percent.
It's huge,
it's huge. So we're back out there with a good engine and pushing on.
Enjoy it. We're going to be watching. Lee Deegan, thank you very much. Right, normally we'd like to potter about, wouldn't we, and catch some more of the drivers. Unfortunately, Lee's kind of out on his own a little bit over here, but we had to catch up with him, didn't we, Lee Deegan, a good friend of ours. So right, it is time now for the Mini Miglias to head out on track. It's going to be a super race. You're not going to want to miss it, and the best thing is you don't have to. I'm going to hand over to your commentator Kieran to take you through the action.
So that you can enjoy the racing action, but also ensure that you...
For this Mini Miglia Championship race by Stephen Colburn. Welcome back, Stephen.
Thanks, Kieran. Nice to be back.
Right, it's not been too much of a break for you. How are you feeling ahead of this one? What are we expecting? The number 21 of Aaron Smith is on the grid in front of us, that hot pink Mini Miglia.
Yeah, well, you've got some real fast guys right at the front there. So Aaron Smith, champion from last year, has won 4 out of 6 races so far this season. He's looking like the man to beat. But alongside him, you've got Lee Deegan, brother of Shane, and probably one of the most successful mini circuit racing cars in history, that one. It's Peter Baldwin's car. It's won the championship multiple times. I'm going to say 6 or 7 times. So that's a very well set up car. Quick driver as well. And behind him, second row, you've got Rupert Death, former champion. And then Joe Thompson alongside, one of our younger drivers on the grid, who was P2 last year in the Mini 7 series that we saw earlier.
Well, on the grid, just working a little bit further back in row 3, it's the numbered 0 car of Colin Peacock. Alongside him in 6th, the 54 of Tom Bell. Behind them on row 4, 11 Kane Aston, and the number 37 of James Cuthbertson. Behind them on row 5, Tony LeMay in the 69, Richard Jessup in 17. Jason Balding is in 12th spot behind the number 42 of Paul Simmons. And in row 7, it is Sam Summerhays in the number 85. Then we have a bit of a gap on the grid, vacant row 8 before we go into row 9. And that is the number 171 of Dan Lewis, followed by the 500 of Rob Davis. The 126 driven by Peter Hills, and the 113 of Phil Harvey, and 133 Craig Cox.
So as we see, green flag lap about to begin now. The second group there at the back with the blue windscreen headers, they're the Mini Libra class cars. So it's the new class, relatively speaking. The Mini Miglia has been around for 50 years this year. So they're an unlimited tuning class. They still run an A-Series engine, still very similar wheels, tyres, the cars are the same. But they run 8 ports, 1385 ports, kind of encouraging people to bring perhaps an old hill climb car out of the garage and come and join in. So we've got Dan Lewis there, took the first win yesterday in his 8-port car. It's a mightily powerful engine in that one.
The warm-up lap well and truly underway. Couple of minor incidents in the first Mini 7s race of the day.
We lost a wheel, didn't we? We had a wheel come off Greg Dawes' car in the Mini 7 S-Class. That was a dramatic moment.
Yeah, and then there was also a bit of a smash on the front end and back end of, I think it was the number 55. I'll have to double check that, but yeah, conditions staying relatively the same. We're just expecting more solid racing.
Yeah, it's still windy out there, so that's going to kind of play into these Mini's hands in terms of the action, because you've got so much slipstreaming going down the Bentley Straight.
We have the tailwind when they come down the Senna Straight also.
Well, you might not be able to see on the screen, it's actually uphill. So they'll be holding it on the clutch as they come round now, as they eventually make it around this almost 3 mile long 300 circuit.
As we mentioned earlier this morning, it is a long old track for these Minis. They make good going of it. It's a fascinating battle in the opening Mini race of the day. We're eagerly anticipating more. Then look at the 133.
Craig Cox there in the Mini Libra. He's a new driver. You see the yellow cross on the back designating that. Other drivers of where we've mentioned, we've got Colin Peacock there with an unusual number 0. That comes about from winning the winter rounds in the previous year. And then we've got Tom Bell. So Tom Bell is a Masters historic racing champion for Minis. So he's gone from the, you might have seen at Goodwood, the pre-66 Mark 1 Minis. He's gone from those sliding around the corners, and he's bought Rob Howard's Mini Miglia. So he's got a bit more grip. Be interesting to see how he gets along in this one. He was struggling yesterday, but he was not quite as used to having that much grip and that much in the way of brakes.
Well, not too much longer to wait now.
So speed difference in these cars, you're looking at roughly 2-minute 12s, whereas the other guys are doing 2-minute 28s. So it's a fair difference in speed between these Mini Miglias to the Mini 7s with the 1 litre engine. They do have that much more torque. And also, if you see, they've got the wide arch extensions there, known as Miglia arches, believe it or not. They've got Dunlop slick racing tyres. Most of them run 4-pot brakes on the front, so they've got a lot more mechanical grip and just a little bit more power as well.
And at the moment, under the bridge heading through Brundle and Nelson towards the bomb hole, then it'll be through Coram and Murray's back onto the centre straight, so we can get this one underway.
See, we've got Sam Summerhays on the grid. He lent his spare engine to James Cuthbertson, and I believe blew that one up as well, so he's not had the best of weekends looking on Facebook.
I mean, it is one of the nicer elements of this sport. There is so much camaraderie between all the drivers.
Yeah, it's competitive, don't get me wrong, but if someone needs a hand, then you'll be there to help them. a few well-guarded secrets, I suppose, at the front in terms of setup. A lot of it's personal preference, but the cars all very similar. Regulations keeping everything on a level playing field as much as possible. We've got regulation suspension cones, but rubber cones on these, don't forget, not coil springs like modern cars, so they kind of skip, hop and jump around the corners. We've got Olin's dampers on there, run a lot of regulation parts.
And we're getting closer. We've got a yellow flag being waved at the moment.
Have we lost one perhaps?
It certainly seems likely that, or there is some issue on the track that needs to be taken care of.
These cars, although it's not the hottest day, they will be getting a bit hot sat there on the grids. They don't run a cooling fan at all, so they'd be eager to get away as soon as possible.
Now, as they resume their positions on the grid, there's some oil on the track, we're hearing, around the bend at Agostini. Sharp bend too, you don't want to be running over anything.
There we go.
5 seconds.
Revs rise.
And Aaron Smith is away. But going toe to toe with him early doors is Lee Deegan. And now they're through Riches.
We've got a lightning start by Rob Davis there in the second pack of Mini Libra cars. He's come around the outside of the 8 port of Dan Lewis. Aaron Smith leads the way, as he has done much of the season.
And takes the hairpin turn at Wilson expertly. Coming down towards Palmer.
All nice and steady for the moment. No lost wheel arches just yet. There's going to be 7 or 8 laps of this, so take it steady.
Plenty of time in a 20-minute race for things to change several times.
Colin Peacock locks a rear wheel by the look of it, but he's made it through with Kane Aston just behind him there. So we've got Dan Lewis and Rick Jessup. See, Rick Jessup's got a new engine in for today. It's a bit of damage sustained yesterday. Been on all night. So we've got Kane putting some pressure and down the inside of Colin Peacock there. As he hops, skips and jumps, like I said. Very hard spring rates on these cars, so they do tend to move around a little bit under braking.
And still in the Miglia class, race lead is
Don't speak
with
too
Aaron
soon.
Smith, but the challenge is on, and the number of 48 of Deegan comes up the outside, and as they're heading for Nelson, he's breaking away. Rides the apex on bomb hole. Aaron Smith drops into second. He's got close company right behind him. It's going to be a fascinating 20 minutes this.
Oh, there's a long time to go yet. You see they're getting 3 abreast coming down the Bentley straight there down the back with the slipstream in effect. See just Tom Bell there, who was talking about earlier, the historic racing champion from last year. Getting to grips with the car there. Rob Davis leads Dan Lewis in the Libras.
And as they pass the finish line down on the centre straight,
Young Joe Thompson putting his nose out a little bit. Put some pressure onto Rupert, keep him going. They like to work together. These 4 out front can get a bit of a break now. That's always the aim. Kane Aston's just there in 5th look. Won't be letting him get away for too long. We've got the Libra battle. So that's Rob and Dan Lewis. We've got Sam Sumhayes made it out, despite blowing up a couple of engines and gearboxes.
and the lead has been eaten into. Aaron Smith is right behind Deegan now.
Got a couple of mini Miglias mixed into the Libras there. It's going to happen gradually over the race. So we've got Dan Lewis putting pressure on Rob Davis. The extra power from that 8 port.
So that's in the Libra class. And still, Davis holding off the challenge.
So in terms of championship
starting to
points,
open up as well, but yeah,
we've got Rob Davis leading the way at the moment in the Libra battle. It's 5 pot 1380. We've got Lee Deegan still staying ahead of ever fast Aaron Smith, but look how much they're packed in there now. They're all catching up with each other. We've got Tom Bell at the back there, but between the lot of them there's only going to be a couple of seconds, if that.
Deegan, Smith holding the front two positions from the off. Deegan in the ascendancy at the moment.
Rupert Deeth taking yesterday's race win. He's there in third place, holding it steady. He knows what to do. Don't really want to be in the race lead for the whole of the race, I wouldn't say, around here, especially with that headwind.
Over the start-finish line once more.
Are we seeing a gap now between Joe Thompson there? Kane Aston? Not really, no, they're catching back up again. There's absolutely no chance of getting away around here.
What we are seeing is Aaron Smith continuing to attack at the back of Lee Deegan through Wilson, heading for Palmer. Smith on the outside, Deegan on the inside.
Keeping that pressure on.
In a neat line as they head for Agostini. Is there going to be a challenge from the outside by Smith?
Ooh. And
a bit of wheel on wheel there.
That was as close as you want to be without taking the wheel arch off.
And still out ahead, Lee Deegan. And we're seeing this battle heat up, getting slightly more aggressive.
We've got Sam Summerhays coming through and catching up now in, where is he, 5th there. So the whole pack is really backing up now between this battle. Lee Deegan and Aaron Smith. Don't discount Rupert Deeth. An experienced mini racer who knows what he's doing.
Especially if the front two continue to challenge the way they are. Aaron Smith takes into second.
And Rupert straight down there.
And Aaron actually drops back a place as they come through bomb hole. Now, Smith down to third. We've got Deegan in second. Deeth out ahead.
So he picks off 2 cars in that one straight alone. Remember how closely matched these cars are. That's saying something.
It is a very, very congested front of the pack there.
We've got Tom Bell backing up that front pack.
And they come past us again. Rupert Deeth still out ahead. Half a car between him.
Oh,
Smith,
he's right
but he's
out
fallen
wide.
away. Is that just a misread?
I think maybe just a bit heavy into that first corner as Joe Thompson pounces. And he's up into... No, he's staying there in 4th. So, change for the lead then.
A change for the lead, but a familiar lineup once again with Lee Deegan back in charge. And Aaron Smith right on his tail. Rupert Deeth applying the pressure from third, but has fallen a little way back from the leaders.
So Aaron picks up the toe once again on the left there in the pink car. One driver missing this weekend, Andrew Jordan, who you might have heard of from touring car fame. Went out last round to Brands Hatch at the touring car meeting, and I believe he managed a 3rd, a 2nd and a 1st. So that's, even from a professional level driver, that's saying something. The competitive level of these mini Miglias is so close at the front.
And Aaron Smith continuing to press and apply pressure to the race leader, Lee Deegan. And there is the number 23 car of Rupert Deeth. Back in 3rd place and making a move. Aaron Smith on the outside. Rupert Deeth on the outside.
Rupert's done it again. He's done it again, exactly the same as 2 laps ago.
And Lee Deegan just rides it out in the middle and holds on to 2nd spot once again.
There you go, 2 for 1. He's got the Libra battle still raging there. Dan Lewis, Rob Davis.
Too far behind as they turn for Agostini.
So they come around here fully sideways on the knife edge.
Still Rupert Deed in control at the moment. Not far off the midway point of this race. Been led at various different times by Rupert Deed, Lee Deegan and Aaron Smith. Someone's off the track, and it was the leader of the Libra class. Spun out. That's Rob Davis.
I wonder if we get a replay of that, see what happened there, Kieran.
What we can see at the moment is Lee Deegan still in control through Wilson.
That white and orange car, it's been at the front for many, many years.
Keeps driving like this, it'll be at the front for many more. Aaron Smith in third spot.
Joe goes to the inside, Joe Thompson there trying it on Aaron Smith.
And now coming through Agostini.
3 wheels.
Heading towards Hamilton, making a move on the outside. Rupert Deed just trying to go on the inside actually, but Lee Deegan has enough about him to continue.
That's a shame to see Rob out of this one. He's doing pretty well. And Sam Summerhays then is on the back of this pack now, using his spare engine, so it doesn't seem to make much difference.
They are going at some pace here at Snetterton.
Average lap time, or lap speed I should say, just under 80 miles an hour, which is astonishing really from a classic Mini.
Absolutely.
Always see a bit of smoke there coming out the back of Dan Lewis's car.
It's opened up for the Libra class, following the absence now of Rob Davis, who spun off the track.
Peter Hills there from Wales.
The lead is still with Rupert Deed.
He's cutting that close.
Driving aggressively, but with clear and focused intent on taking this one. And now they're coming down the centre straight. In the top 3, it is Deed, then Deegan. Bit of a gap before you get to Aaron Smith. Heading for Wilson. And it's the number 23, Deed, the white, with the red arches around the tyres.
Now this is where tyre pressures come into it. So talking of tactics like we did earlier with the Mini 7 race, they'll be very tactical about what they put into these tyres before they go out. Some of the cars will come on the pace a bit later in the race, depending on how they prefer to drive. So we might see a late charge from someone.
Joe Thompson starting to make a move, but yeah, I think we're going to see what happened to Rob Davis.
Gone off through the bum hole.
Just didn't manage to take that turn at all, and he looks dejected as he has to watch on from an embankment. Back on the track, it's advantage Rupert Deed. And behind him, Lee Deegan still in second spot, and Aaron Smith in third. Holding fourth place, Joe Thompson, I believe. And another off the track.
So Dan Lewis saw a bit of smoke coming out the back, so he's obviously pulled that one up rather than damage the engine there. And that leaves then novice driver Craig Cox in the lead of the Libra battle.
Lee Deegan going very wide here as he looks to overtake Rupert Deed, and he does so as they come through the bomb hole, and he holds on to it very nicely. And the number 23, Rupert Deed, still very much in this. Lots of challenge from Aaron Smith and Lee Deegan. Lee Deegan in charge at the moment. Lost count of how many times they've swapped the lead now.
I'm anxiously checking the TSL live timings to see how long we've got left. We lost the graphic from the screen there, so see how many laps we might have. We've got 6 minutes to go in this race, so 6 minutes, you're going to get probably 2.5 laps in.
The clock continues to tick down as they head into Wilson.
Joe around the outside of Aaron Smith, or is it vice versa? Nice clean battle there. Pick up a little bit of dust. Lee Deegan starting to pull away now from Rupert.
He goes slightly wide there. And just
so does
nicking
Sam
off
Summerhays.
the track. Yeah, Sam Summerhays.
As if by magic. You heard what you said.
And here we go towards Agostini. The race leader is number 48, Lee Deegan, followed up by the 23 of Rupert Deeth. In third place, the 21, the hot pink car of Aaron Smith. And then the number 80 of Joe Thompson, the Leicester driver.
At this point, it really could be anyone's race still. So we've got Rupert trying his technique from earlier as they drafting together.
Rupert Deeth and Aaron Smith making a move. And Lee Deegan has dropped down to third, at least momentarily. And Aaron Smith is holding off Lee Deegan and then is forced behind him. Good line. And a little bit of a wobble there from Lee Deegan, but he holds on to it, but that's opened up a bit of a lead.
Bit of contact there between Joe Thompson and Aaron Smith. Unintentional, I'm sure. But all of this behind is playing into Rupert Deeth's hands as he comes on to what's got to be said a penultimate lap now. So he's starting to eke out a bit of a lead. No doubt they can bring that back going down the Bentley straight where the headwind's so strong.
And now through Riches, opening right hand turn of this circuit, heading towards Wilson. And that's the number 23 of Rupert Deeth, our leader. Through Wilson, behind him Lee Deegan. Third place, the 21, is Aaron Smith. Joe Thompson has fallen away a little bit in fourth place.
Are we seeing a puff of smoke there from the back of Lee Deegan's car? Maybe a bit of tyre rubbing.
I'm sure he'll certainly hope not. But we're coming up towards a portion of a track where there's been so many moves made already. Once they get through that Bentley straight after Hamilton and Oggies.
And they're all playing a waiting game now, I'd say.
And they're waiting for that one moment. Every lap as they've come down the Bentley straight, someone has tried to make their move. Less than 3 minutes to go in this one.
Aaron Smith's quite obviously going to try a pass here. Is he going to get 2 for 1 like Rupert did twice earlier? Let's see.
Soon find out. Rupert Deeth still at the head of that pack. Move being made by Lee Deegan on the outside. Aaron Smith follows suit and has Rupert Deeth drop back into third. He's forced out. Excellent driving by Lee Deegan and Aaron Smith. These are ambitious moves, but it takes some expertise to pull them off safely.
Super clean overtaking there. There's no arches in the air. No door mirrors coming off. That's what we like to see.
And so the lead with Lee Deegan now. Aaron Smith back in second.
As they begin the last lap of the race.
And they come through. 2 minutes to go, so yeah, this is likely to be the final lap of this one. And Lee Deegan out ahead by just under 0.2 of a second.
Aaron tries a sneaky move down the outside. I think he's just putting the pressure on for now. He doesn't want to be in the lead. Not yet.
And Deegan continues in control in the white, orange and blue Mini Miglia.
There's nothing between these three for the whole race. Mega racing.
It's been absolutely enthralling watching these three go at it. Somewhat a shame that Joe Thompson has fallen away from that pack because he was involved at one stage too.
Seems like they've broken the toe a little bit now.
And a little bump there, Aaron Smith on the back of Lee Deegan.
Gentle nudge.
And Lee Deegan comes away unscathed, in control, not only of his car but of the race.
Now, who's going to make it to the end of the straight first? This is where the race is going to be won or lost here.
Who will make the move? There was lots of slipstreaming.
Look at the speed difference coming up from behind.
And Aaron Smith goes into the lead. Can Rupert Deave get away from Lee Deegan? No, he can't.
Rupert
Aaron
goes
Smith
sideways there. Oh, and Aaron's a bit slow coming off that one.
Smith and Deegan breaking away from Deave now. He'll be hard pressed to find an opportunity to take this one again. Aaron Smith
Defended that like a pro, didn't he? Overtook
here he
just at the right
comes.
time.
They are heading for the centre straight. Checkered flag is out. It's close.
Who was that across the line? Lee Deegan takes it by a whisker.
By an
I couldn't see
absolute
that coming. I thought that was Aaron's. That was mega close at the end there. We got confirmation of that.
So I think we've got confirmation that Aaron Smith has indeed taken it.
Lee was celebrating as if he'd won.
Lee Deegan, the stats we've got at the moment, about 1/10 of a second, if that, even less. There we go. 1,000th of a second, Aaron Smith, and Lee Deegan takes it.
1,000th of a second. Try and do that again. You couldn't do that if you're pushing the cars across the line. That's mega.
And the fact that so soon after coming across the line, his hand was shaking a fist in celebration. He knew.
I think Lee thinks he's won it. But regardless, what a battle. Yeah, top three, mega. They all deserve that one.
Well, yesterday we were talking about how close the legends were at a gap of 4/10 of a second, but 1/1000th of a second. Let's go to Ian Waterhouse.
Well, that was an incredible finish. I know I keep saying it today, but wow. Lee Deegan is the winner. Come with me. We're going to have a quick word. 1/1000th of a second. That is how close it was between him and Smith. That's incredible. Let's see if we can have a word about getting run over here. He's just about to have a chat there. We'll go grab Mr. Smith over here, shall we? And see how he's feeling.
Probably 1,000th of a second.
1,000th of a second.
Hello. Hi. That was incredible. Sorry, do you want me to get your helmet off first? That was incredible, wasn't it? That was something really, really special. We're just going to let Smith get his helmet off and just relax a little bit. There we go. Look, that's better. These things get pretty hot, don't they? But what a final lap. It's all smiles. I'm pleased to say it's all smiles. I wasn't sure whether you'd be all smiles or be a bit like, ah!
I know, it's just one of those, like, that slipstream, oh my, like, it must be so close, but you know, like, great race, I can't argue with that, and to come away with 2 second places is awesome for the weekend.
1/1000th of a second. If you just maybe over the line, just length forward of it, who knows?
It's one of those, isn't it? It's just like we race for 20 minutes and we have to decide it on the line, you know. Like it's just one of, but no, brilliant. Fair play to CAD for providing the power for the car and the whole team that goes with it. So yeah, like can't argue, and awesome.
Wonderful stuff. Congratulations. Anyway,
Thanks very much.
I'm going to grab a quick word with Lee. So I spoke to you earlier, Lee. I spoke to you earlier, and you go and win the race. Congratulations. 1/1000 second. I know you're just saying there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is literally. I could just. So it's like that much, isn't it? It's like that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the cameras had a finish line view of that,
split.
but it must have been probably half a wheel that I won it with. But I was looking at Aaron across. I wasn't looking forward. I was just looking at Aaron and waiting for that flag. And I knew when I went over that we'd just got it. When he got in front of me coming down the back straight, I knew that if I was in P2 on that last corner all race, I was getting a really good exit. So I just slowed down into the corner, made sure I got the apex to perfection, and then I knew that it's a straight line finish between KAD and TBI. Who's got the most beans under the bonnet, and TBI just eked out.
Nice tiniest margin.
Yeah.
Lee, good weekend for you in the end. You must be happy. Double podium.
Yeah, double podium, plenty of points in the bag, and now we can push on.
Congratulations, well done. Lee Deegan, just about your race. And we must give Craig Cox a big shout out as well. He's the winner of the Libra class as well. So it's actually time for a little lunch break at the minute, but when we come back, we are going to have so much more action. We really hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far this morning, and we'll be back after lunch.